The NCAA Beach Volleyball Championship is brought to you by Esurance, auto and home insurance for the modern world, and Coppertone. Coppertone Sport is proven to protect.
Welcome back to Gulf Shores, Alabama, a beautiful setting for the NCAA Championships. First duel of the day is complete. The 1 seed UCLA taking it from FIU 3-0. Still to come, though, our next duel will put the defending national champions against Florida State. We will see USC and Florida State. Countdown is on to the start of that duel. Welcome back to Gulf Shores. Courtney Lyle, Holly McPeak, and we're seeing UCLA come out. They came in as the #1 seed. What'd you think so far of the Bruins?
Well, I think it's always good to get that first match under your belt. UCLA looked really good. They came out aggressive, and where they struggled on the 5 and the 2 court, they were able to respond in the second set.
Yeah, it was really great to see a strong start from this UCLA team, and they haven't been fazed by the #1 ranking, the #1 seed in front of their name. That's not something that's bothered them.
No, they came here on a mission, and they feel like they're here to win, and that's it.
Well, our next duel will be USC and Florida State. It's going to be really interesting to see what Southern Cal does coming into this tournament where they have won the past 2 NCAA titles.
It's interesting. In a bracket of 8, the 4 and 5 matchup is always the toughest, and that's what this one is. Florida State versus USC. USC in a rebuilding year. Lots of talent, but they haven't had the strength of season that they did last year. And FSU is deep from top to bottom. It's going to be a really good one.
Yeah, this is a really good Seminoles team, and they met during the regular season. It ended up being a really close duel. It came down to the 5s. I mean, it was neck and neck throughout.
And the teams, the pairs for both programs have completely changed. Kremer out of the lineup, and as well as Kernigan. So it's going to be really interesting with the new matchups and head-to-heads with the new pairs.
Yeah, those new pairs teaming up, trying to get on the same page, and you're trying to do that at the NCAA Championships.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure, but both programs know how to win and know how to compete at the highest level.
The countdown continues for our second duel of the NCAA Championship, day 1, under 5 minutes until we see Southern California and Florida State.
The NCAA Beach Volleyball Championship is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry. And Coppertone. Coppertone Sport is proven to protect.
Our second duel of the day is moments away. In the winner's bracket here, Southern California and Florida State will make their inaugural debuts here in this year's NCAA Beach Volleyball Championship. Remember, we have 5 pairs for each team playing all at the same time. The first team to win 3 matches wins the duel. 1 through 5, all counting as the same. And you take a look at the lineups for USC and Florida State. Gotta talk about the ones. Tina Gradina, Abril Bustamante. So good for USC.
And they're facing off against 2 seniors, Vanessa Ferretti and Tori Paranagua from Florida State. Both teams just 2 losses on the entire season at the 1 pair.
There's going to be a huge battle on court 1, but this event just has been incredible so far. And Nell Fortner won an indoor national championship at Texas. She's on the sideline for us in the beach.
This is absolutely fantastic. The environment here, look, the smell of sunscreen, that is very apparent here. There's no doubt. You've got to have it on because it's hot. But the tremendous athletes, the environment, the fans, this is an outstanding event that will only get bigger and bigger and better. Holly McPeak, I know exactly why you are a beach ball player.
Thank you. Pretty appealing venue, right?
All 5 courts are covered for you. And remember, if you want to watch a certain court, all you have to do is tune over to the ESPN app, pull it up on your second screen, and you can zoom in on your favorite pair. They are all streaming live. Every single point of this tournament is live on the ESPN app. We will start on court 1 with Freiti, Paranagua, Gradina, and Bustamante. So interesting to see how this USC team comes out. Remember, they've won back-to-back NCAA championships.
Tina Gradina, the freshman from Latvia, starts the play off with a USC point and a hug for her partner, Abril Bustamante, playing with a sprained left thumb. You'll see her left hand all taped up. But this pair for USC has been so impressive all season long.
Paranagua with the swing, and it goes long. That point will go to USC.
The senior pair for Florida State, Tori Paranagua, the lefty at 25, and Vanessa Freiti, her partner, very physical. These players lead the Florida State program with the way they work, come to practice every day wanting to win this championship.
Both our captains and coaches, really, Brooke Niles has really challenged them to step up leadership, to step up their performance. Named to the CCSA All-Conference team. Both of them have hit 100 career wins. They're only 2 of 6 players in FSU history to reach that feat.
Tina Gradina elevates. She jumps so high, and she's goofy foot approach. That means she's right, left, instead of left, left. And it's hard to read as a defensive player. You kind of have to get used to watching her.
Bustamante with the serve, and this will be Paranagua on the swing. Another point to the Noles.
And Vanessa Freiti, number 12, cleans up that pass that was way off the net, pushes her partner, Tori Paranagua, up close to the net for the kill.
Bustamante on the attack. A little bit long, point FSU.
Vanessa Freiti playing some good defense. She's been a full-time blocker for a long time, but now split blocking with Tori Paranagua.
Bustamante off of hands. Let's send it down to Holly.
Well, guys, Tina Gradina is one of the greatest athletes in the country. I should say Latvia. In all of Europe, she was a heptathlete growing up. She said her dad taught her to play volleyball in the garden, but she really struggled to choose between 2 sports. She said this is the first year of her life that she hasn't been doing track and field in her off season as a heptathlete. So when you see that block at the net that she's known for and that jumping ability, it's the high jump, the long jump, the hurdles. She is a world-class athlete.
And it shows. You watch Tina Gradina play, the way she moves off the net, the way she's explosive above the net. She's got some of the quickest feet that I've ever seen on a volleyball player.
And only a freshman, too, to have all of that talent.
And also a Latvia Olympic hopeful for 2020.
Gradina at the net, trying to bump it over, just didn't have enough room.
Bustamante, junior for USC, having the best season of her career. Really loves playing with Tina Gradina. Just the physical and the mental level of Gradina's game has elevated Bustamante's.
Yeah, this pair is 28-2. All of those coming, all that record coming on court 1 for USC. They had won 19 straight until a loss to UCLA in the Pac-12 championship, and they have really pushed the McNamara twins for UCLA.
They certainly have. We saw last week at the Pac-12 championship, this USC really dismantled the McNamaras, but the McNamaras able to respond and win that title in the final.
Gradina and Bustamante on top by a point. Remember, we are playing to 21. You have to win by 2 in the first 2 sets. If we go to a 3rd set, we would play to 15. Still have to win by 2. Freiti on the kill.
And beautiful set by Tori Paranagua, setting her partner up. Again, Vanessa Freiti has been a full-time blocker, so now she's playing defense. She makes great reads on the play, runs that line shot down, and transitions for a kill.
Gradina trying to go over, but outside.
Tori Paranaga really doing a good job pressuring Gradina at the net. Tina Gradina, little roll shot out of bounds.
Frady to serve for the Seminoles. Bustamante with the bump set to Gradina. Puts it away on an angle. Well, the NCAA Beach Volleyball Championship coverage continues Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2 with duel number 9. For more information on the NCAA Women's Beach Volleyball Championship, visit ncaa.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. And this is the newest championship in the NCAA, only the 3rd year that we've seen beach volleyball.
A referee's whistle in the middle of that play. Not sure if it was the wrong server.
Bustamante has gone back. Here comes Paranagua. Great effort by Bustamante, but it does go out.
Bustamante's defense has really improved. She's flying around the court, making great reads. Coach Anna Collier has always thought of her as a very dynamic defender.
It's interesting to see, too, a player that has that collegiate experience really stepping her game up because of her younger partner who is pushing her.
A freshman. Tina Gradina does not play like a freshman. She's a high-level international player. And really, you know, Anna Collier talked about her adjustment to the college game. She's never been around this team aspect of beach volleyball, and she's learning. And Abril Bustamante is helping her in that area, understand the team and part of being this part of USC volleyball.
FSU on top by a point here. We are on court 1. Remember, if you want to see a certain court, they are all streaming live on the ESPN app. Gradina, whoa.
Gradina elevates, she's got a beautiful power game, and right now FSU choosing not to block her.
Paranagua coming around behind Frady.
Florida State controlling that first contact, and that enables them to run an offense, a back set. Tori Paranaga trying to get the big blocker, Gradina, to move, and that opens up court offensively.
Paranagua's point puts the Noles up by 1. Gradina into the block and using it.
Vanessa Frady way over the net. We've seen her make some great defensive plays in the backcourt, but that time at the net, just could not turn that ball back into the court for FSU.
Ace. We've already seen how close this battle has been. Sure to be a good one as we continue with Southern Cal and Florida State after this. Doesn't get much better than this. An awesome sight for the NCAA championships here in Gulf Shores, Alabama, Florida State, and USC battling in our second duel of the day. And let's take a look at the scores through all 5 courts. Look at Florida State leading the way on 4 out of the 5 courts. We knew this is going to be a battle, and it certainly has been. Let's send it over to Holly Rowe, who has more on the head knoll.
Well, Brooke Niles, the head coach of the Florida State Seminoles, is so grateful to be here this year. Last year, she was here at this event. She was pregnant and suffering from pneumonia. When she got home, things took a turn from the worst, and she nearly lost her life. She was in the ICU for over a week with a very unusual syndrome called HELP syndrome that affects the enzymes in your liver. Nearly 20,000 people are diagnosed with this a year. It is a very rare disease for women who are pregnant. It was touch and go for a while, and she is so grateful to be healthy, to be back here. Her baby was born a month early but has had no ill complications, and she said, you know, it was a really stressful time. I talked to some of the athletes and they said we didn't know at the time how serious it was for Coach. They're so grateful that she's back, that she's healthy, and that they're able to enjoy this experience once again.
What a great story to see her back on the beach after going through all of that just a year ago.
And really a life or death situation.
Yes.
The nurse came into the room crying because she was the first person, Brooke Niles, to recover from that particular illness that she had helped. And just, wow, what an amazing story. I remember her being 7 months pregnant with pneumonia, very sick, and she really didn't show her team. She stayed strong for them the whole time.
Just incredible, and you can really tell in talking with her athletes that they love their coach too. This is over on court 2 now, where Florida State, Haley Luke and Katie Horton have an 18-11 lead on Therese Cannon and Sammy Slater of USC.
And Katie Horton and Haley Luke have been one of the hottest teams in the country, both indoor, very successful players for the Florida State program, and have moved up the ranks. They started, I believe, at 4 or 5 in the pair position and have just got better and better and better, and now have been 16-0 at the 2 pair for Florida State.
Yeah, they've just become more consistent as the season has gone along and pushing other pairs in practice. Right now, Florida State ahead in 4 of the 5 matches we see here in this second duel of the day.
And USC really depends on this 2 pair of Therese Cannon, 6'3" at the net, with a very talented, dynamic defender, Sammy Slater, 5'10" freshman from Ventura. They have had a lot of success at the 2 spot, 24-5 on the season.
Haley Luke working there at the net, and Katie Horton will get to head back and serve for Florida State. Both of these players, lots of experience. They are redshirt seniors, so they've gotten that experience on the beach.
Well, this is their first time, both of them playing full-time beach volleyball since the fall. So all those extra reps and confidence, that's why the level of their play has really elevated this season. And Brooke Niles just loves this team. She just loves the chemistry between them. They're mature athletes. They know what it takes to win.
It is set point right now for Florida State.
That ball carries out of bounds, and Florida State able to get the first set at the 2 spot.
We knew it was going to be a big battle in this second duel between USC and Florida State. We saw what they did in the regular season. It went down to the 5s. It was so close. Let's take you over to court 5 now, speaking of which, where FSU on top 17-11.
And this is only the 3rd match for the FSU 5 pairs, Francesca Gonsalves and Madison Fitzpatrick. USC's Jenna Belton, Maya Kaiser, they're pretty new together too. They're 2-0 at the 5 spot.
Jenna Belton and Maya Kaiser have gone 5-4 overall this season when they've been paired up together. And they'll say there was a touch.
Francesca Gonsalves is as fit as she's ever been. She's been trying to get in the lineup. She can be a defender, she can be a blocker. On this particular pair, she's doing most of the blocking.
Serve into the net.
Maya Kaiser's really elevated her game in the last couple of weeks, just gaining that confidence, being part of the lineup. You're not trying to earn a spot, you're in the lineup, just trying to get better every match.
Since that East meets West tournament, that was pretty early on in the season, Kaiser has just made incredible progress. She has really gone to work.
And the opportunity to be in the USC lineup gives you that confidence, and playing with senior Jenna Belton, who is just a great team player, fantastic setter. Wow, what a serve by Madison Fitzpatrick. That's the jump float serve that just drops on the back line. It looks like it's coming high, and then the bottom drops out.
When you talk about hitting an exact spot, that was right there. Kaiser will get the opportunity to attack. The block is there from Gonsalves, but she uses it.
Little bit of life left for USC, but right now all Florida State needs to do is a side out.
Set point here for the Seminoles.
And there you have it, great court vision. Madison Fitzpatrick sees the angle block, goes to the open court.
We take you over to court one now quickly for set point. And it does go to the USC ones of Tina Gradina and Abril Bustamante.
But that's the first set, the only court where USC is up in the first set, getting that first set victory.
Yeah, Florida State really coming out strong. USC with the first set win on court one, over to court three now. Macy Jerger and Sarah Putt working for the Noles, Joy Dennis and Cammie Dorn for USC.
Coach Brooke Niles calls this pair for Florida State the competitors. They're 17-0. Sarah Putt transferred from Stetson after her freshman year. She's a little bit unorthodox, but just so competitive. She makes things happen, and she's really receptive to coaching. And as a coach, you want somebody who's going to listen to you because you're trying to help them to get better.
Let's check in with Holly.
Well, guys, people who are tuning in for the first time right now might be looking at the scoreboard saying, oh my gosh, what's going on with USC? Keep in mind, they are the two-time defending national champs. They're the only team that has ever won the NCAA Beach Volleyball Championship. But they lost a lot to graduation last year. They have got a lot of new pairs, a lot of new faces that are in this experience for the first time. They did some late season shuffling to their pairs lineups, really in search of some of that chemistry. I talked to some of the athletes yesterday, and they said, we have gone through so many ups and downs this season, so much adversity, but we want to put that behind us and really focus on just winning. But right now, really backs against the wall to Florida State early in the going here. I'm out on court two, and Cannon and Slater are really making a nice comeback here after losing set one, 21-13.
Yeah, this is a USC team who lost an incredible five-pack of seniors, if you will.
5 All-Americans who are now competing this weekend in the AVP event in Huntington Beach. So 5 players who played at the highest level, but what a start for Sarah Putt and the two-time Scholar Athlete of the Year, Macy Jerger.
They take set one from Joy Dennis and Cammie Dorn, 21-16 on court three. We'll check in on court four, and Nell Fortner has been on the sidelines. What's going on court four, Nell?
This has been a really back and forth affair between this court four pair. And, you know, USC, they're coming here with a little inexperience in their court four pair because they're a grad transfer you're looking at and also a freshman. But then on the other side of the net, you're looking at Florida, who has experience in Brooke Kuhlman and Molly McBain. But this is back and forth. The wind has been no factor. Really, the tactical game of Florida State, a little bit better than what USC is showing right now.
This Florida State duo is 13-2, all of those coming at the 4 spot.
And this is a new pair, Alexandra Paletto and Haley Hallgren, the freshman, Paletto, the grad student, and then Molly McBain and Brooke Kuhlman, both experienced. Molly McBain won a championship for Canada at the U18 spot with a player from Hawaii. And then Brooke Kuhlman played at the 1 spot for FSU last year and has just been playing into her rhythm. Was a little inconsistent early in the season, but playing really well for Florida State.
Yeah, last season on court one, she went 17-11. This 4 pair for Florida State, they've won 5 straight matches, 12 of their last 13 together. USC on top, 18-17 on court 4 in this first set. This will be Alexandria Paletto serving, transferred in from Colorado State. Sends it up to Paletto.
Haley Hallgren, heads up play by the freshman. She was a high school All-American out of Texas. She and the other freshman for USC, Sammy Slater, had a lot of success all summer long. You see this play right here. Good 2-down defense by Florida State. And then in transition, Hallgren gets the over on 2 kill.
Florida State was really having to move around there to keep the action going. Remember, we're playing to 21. You have to win by 2 in these first 2 sets. Hallgren this time takes an angle with that block in her face.
Brooke Kuhlman, wow, great kill in transition for Florida State to tie it all up in the first set.
Do have to win by 2, and Kuhlman will go back to serve, the junior out of Jupiter, Florida. AVCA All-American last season when she was working on court 1 for Florida State. Right down the line goes Hallgren.
Haley Hallgren is one of the smartest players, according to Coach Anna Collier. She wants to know why she's doing things, and then she really incorporates it quickly, but she needs to know why before she incorporates it into her game, and Coach Anna Collier really respects that.
It's a set point for USC. And we get tied up at 20. You have to win by 2. So this is where it gets even more exciting.
Love it when it goes extra points, both pairs pushing one another.
Cross-court shot.
Net violation by the blocker, and USC with a 1-point advantage. Set point. Paletto will go back to serve.
USC trying to catch up. Florida State has really come out across all 5 courts and surged ahead. Remember, the first team to get to 3 points wins the duel. Shot coming right down the line to that back corner.
Molly McBain, really nice court vision, only a sophomore. Paletto lines up in front, gives her the overline at 6'3". You have to go way up over the block to get that ball to drop.
Knotted at 20. Brooke Kuhlman will be serving for FSU. Down the line, Kuhlman couldn't lay out in time.
Florida State really testing the freshman Haley Hallgren, but they're testing her because they want Paletto to set. When you're new to the beach, that's the toughest skill to do. Wind has seemingly died down.
Absolutely, it's nothing like what we had yesterday. We were out at the beach all day.
Or this morning, just an hour ago, it was much windier.
USC, able to come out 23-21. A good response after we've seen Florida State come out strong here in duel 2 of the day. We'll see what the defending champs do when we come back.
It's been a super successful couple years, and the past 3 years we've won national championships, 2 of which have been NCAA.
In 2016, we had a lot of junior, senior leadership on that team that really brought us to that championship.
They made a decision. We're going to go out and we're going to win this thing, and they really took it upon themselves, basically going, get on for the ride, coach, because here we go.
Every single practice, we'd push each other like we were our rival team. Whoever we were facing, we were prepared to have that edge.
That class had such great leaders in it. I always call them the Fab Five. Sarah Hughes, Allie Wheeler, Nick Martin, Sophie Bukovac, Kelly Clays. As sophomores, they took control. Juniors, now they're even more in control and have more motivation because this is the first NC2A championship, and they want to go down in history. We're going to be the first team to ever do this. It's going to be USC. And so they did it. Then once they did it as juniors, now you bring them all back as seniors?
2017 was incredible. All the teams around us had improved a ton. We had really tough competition.
It came down to Therese Cannon and Nicolette Martin in the 3rd set, tied at 13 all in a set to 15.
We were in a timeout, and we realized that it was come down to our game, and we were like, okay, we got this, we practiced for this, we know what to do.
There's only 3 coaches. So there wasn't a coach on their game.
We could have had a coach in our box if we wanted it, but we were like, no, we're doing okay. Like, stay out of our box. We got this.
I finished coaching my box, and I came over, and I was watching this unfold. And then I clearly remember Nick saying, I got this, coach. And I didn't want to disrupt that.
Where else would you want to be right now? This is kind of what we practice for. This is what we play for. And we figured, let's go get this done. Let's win that title for our team. So it was 14-13. We looked at each other and we were like, we just need one. That's it. Next thing I know, we were at the bottom of a dog pile and everyone was celebrating and cheering.
This year, it's really big because it's a new team. We lost 5 seniors and we gained 5 freshmen. And for us, it's proving it to ourselves and to everyone else that this team can win this national championship.
The competition is just so much better. You know, we kind of ran the sport for a couple of years, and I don't think it's going to be like that anymore. For me and everyone this year, this baby is wide open.
The talent of those USC teams have been incredible. Their first season was in 2012. Anna Collier has been the only head coach for this program, and 3 national titles to go back to back to back. So impressive.
The culture that Anna Collier has created at USC, these are a bunch of women who come to work hard, compete, and they have to be all in to compete for her. And she recruits competitive athletes. People are walking on because they want to compete for USC.
Yeah, the number one thing she looks for is passion when she is recruiting. She wants you to love the game, and certainly has found a handful of athletes who do. You take a look at the scores across the board. This is the second duel of the day. USC battling Florida State. And let's get you over to court 2, where we saw Florida State take set 1. You heard in that last story, Therese Cannon was part of the pair that had that dual ceiling win for USC here last season.
I remember it was like yesterday. Everybody ran to that court, and Nicolette Martin, a senior who had led her young partner Therese Cannon all season long, and they were able to close it out.
Right now battling Haley Luke and Katie Horton in the 2s. FSU taking that set 1, but USC trying to respond here. Cannon at the net. And the shot goes long. Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, you guys were talking about Therese Cannon being the young player last year and being led. Well, she is the team captain this year. She has had to take over the leadership role, and she said, you know, I'm kind of a quiet person. I'm not comfortable being the vocal one, but she's had to do it this year. And I love how she has responded on court number 2 right there with the service ace you see. After really getting smoked in set 1, they have come back out strong. They lead now 16-12, possibly force a set 3. And I just love the fire that she and Sammy Slater have exhibited over here on court 2. You know, it was, their body language wasn't great. They were quiet, and Gustavo Rocho got in their face in the last time out and was like, look, I need stronger decisions at the net. I need bigger, more decisive moves at the net, 1 point at a time, and they've done that to a nice 4-point lead right now.
Gustavo Rocha, the first-year assistant for USC, was at Pepperdine last year, and he's so positive with this pair.
We were talking to Anna Collier, and she referred to them as the Slammin' Cannon, Therese Cannon and Sammy Slater.
2 big physical players who can really dominate at the 2-pair. But right now, Horton and Luke struggling in the second set after handily winning the first set.
Big swing at the net.
Sammy Slater, the lefty, tough to stop, tough to read. USC in control.
Slater will go back to serve now. Luke dives for it. She'll get right back up to make the swing. And Therese Cannon.
Therese Cannon looking really strong. They can feel all the momentum in this second set, and Florida State wants a timeout.
USC has come back and jumped on top in set 2 here on court 2, 19-13. But let's take you back over to court 1. Remember, Tina Gradina and Abril Bustamante took the first set. And now they are on top, 17-8 here in set 2, looking for that first point in this duel.
Notice no coach in their box. I mean, you have to have confidence in this one pair. And Coach Anna Collier decided to leave these two alone. Two very mature players, have played at a high level. They know when they need to make adjustments.
Back on March 12th, they were named the Pac-12 Pair of the Week.
Tina Gradina, the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year as well.
We'll take you over to court 3 now while court 1 is taking a break. Dennis and Dorn trailing by 2 to Jurger and Putt of Florida State, and Florida State has already taken the first set.
Macy Jurger at 6'1", Sarah Putt at 5'11". They split block, but just great all-around play. No weaknesses.
They are 17-0 this season together.
Joy Dennis, one of the most physical players in the country on the beach, able to get that ball to drop. Cami Dorn inserted in the lineup just about 3 weeks ago for USC, and she's worked hard to be ready to go when her name was called.
That goes off of the hands of USC. We'll take you back over to court 2. Cannon and Slater up 19-13 on Katie Horton and Haley Luke, looking to even up this match. Slater back to serve. Slater has to lay out for it. And that shot goes through from Haley Luke.
Haley Luke cleans up that errant set, hoping to try and climb back in the second set. You never really want to go to a third set if necessary, because anything can happen in that third set.
Horton's turn behind the service line. Therese Cannon on the angle.
Anytime you angle block and step way in, you show the hitter what you're taking, and if the hitter has court vision, they're going to take that easy shot over the block.
Set point for USC, looking to even up this match on court 2. Just enough space there for Haley Luke.
Same thing, that angle block, the hitter can see it and just goes easy shot over the angle block. Gustavo Hocha walking with Slater and Cannon. He's done a great job refocusing them in that second set.
Take you back to court 1 now. Gradina and Bustamante just 3 points away from getting a point for USC in this duel.
Tori Paranago gets the dribbler to fall on Bustamante, but Bustamante Gradina in control at court 1.
Paranagua gets to serve again. Goes at Gradina. Into the block and breaks her way through.
Gradina just elevates, hammering through the big block of Paranagua, and now match point.
We have match points on courts 1 and courts 5. USC looking for match point on court 1, Florida State on court 5. Florida State, court 5 on the right side of your screen.
Ladies and gentlemen, court 2, USC takes set number 2, 21-16.
Florida State getting the first point on court 5.
Florida State strikes first, but USC strikes right back, all tied up 1-1. This is when it gets exciting.
We knew this was going to be a tough battle coming in, just watching these two teams throughout the season and how they battled each other the first time.
Lots of new pairs, but both programs came here to win.
Let's take you over to court 3 now. The duel is even at 1 match apiece. The first to 3 wins.
Cami Dorn, beautiful cross-court side out, just down by 1 in this second set. Really, USC fighting to stay alive on pair 3.
We do want to let you know USC was able to win the second set on court 2, so they are going to a third set on court 2. Remember, if you want to see any court, we have all 5 courts streaming live on the ESPN app. Every single point you can catch there. Joy Dennis coming up to attack and throws it down.
Joy Dennis has really stepped up her game lately for USC, figuring out her role with Cami Dorn. Cami Dorn just inserted into the lineup, so Joy Dennis needs to help her, make her game better. Big kill in transition by Joy Dennis.
Both of these USC players just sophomores, and that'll be a service error for Joy Dennis. Point going to Florida State. They're up 19-18. A win here would give Florida State another point in this duel.
Cami Dorn going cross court at 6'1". She's got that range. Hits that ball right inside Sarah Putt, the defender for Florida State.
Cami Dorn, one of those athletic and long players. Earned her way into this lineup. She goes up to the net. Space coming for Macy Jerger.
Macy Jerger worked so hard last year. She spent the entire summer in California training with the best, competing on the Pro Tour, really trying to push her game, knowing she was coming into a big season for Florida State.
Serving here, and she has one of the best serves on this Florida State team. It is match point for the Seminoles. What a layout by Jerger, but Sarah Putt couldn't run over there in time. We were tied up. Remember, you have to win by 2. It'll be Joy Dennis serving for USC. Putt right at Dennis.
Sarah Putt staying aggressive. Now up by 1, match point at court 3.
Florida State with another opportunity to seal it here. Duel is even at a match apiece. Can the Noles bump ahead? Jerger will bump set Putt here. Dorn on the swing. It's out, and that point going to Florida State.
Putt and Jerger so steady for Florida State, able to get a 2-set victory and the second point on the board.
Florida State has jumped ahead in this duel. They lead the defending national champions 2-1 in their opening duel of the NCAA Championship.
The NCAA Beach Volleyball Championship is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. And Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
2 matches still going on as we have 3 in the books in this duel between Florida State and USC. The 2s and 4s are still going. Nell Fortner is over on court 4, and let's check in for an update.
First set, but Florida State right now really pushing back hard. They're up 4 in this second set, 17-13. I tell you, the heat is brutal right now, and Dane Blanton mentioned to me in the timeout. The wind has died down, so what happens? The heat starts getting to you. And I'm sure Holly McPeak can talk to us a little bit more about that. But right now, Florida State having their way with USC.
It's really interesting to make sure you're hydrated. Some people overheat in this kind of weather. I personally like this weather, but so you'll see them ice the back of their necks when they sit down.
Yeah, that wind that we knew was going to be such a big factor really has died down. Not a factor right now.
Almost non-existent.
Yeah. Let's send you over to court 2 now. Remember, we only have 2 matches still going. Florida State is up in this duel 2-1 over USC. And we have A third set going on over on court 2 between Haley Luke, Katie Horton, and Therese Cannon and Sammy Slater. And yeah, the flag is evidence, no wind.
And it was blowing like crazy all morning.
Third set is a little bit different. We played a 15. You'll see them switch sides in multiples of 5. Still have to win by 2.
In the third set's always about minimizing errors, but being really efficient with all your touches.
Sammy Slater will get the opportunity to swing here for USC. Was hoping for the back corner.
Sammy Slater has made a couple uncharacteristic hitting errors lately. She's just a freshman. This is the first time on a stage like this for USC.
Haley Luke serving for Florida State. Only playing to 15, it'll go fast, and there's a little room. There's the spot that Slater was looking for.
Therese Cannon and Sammy Slater, so much fire, especially when they're playing well. But right now, Gustava Hocha trying to get them back on track.
Let's send it down to Holly.
Well, this dynamic of Sammy Slater is really interesting. As you said, she's a freshman. She has kind of been the fire getting them going over here. But after a serve-receive error and then 2 hitting errors, she really started to doubt herself. She kept patting her chest saying, my bad, my bad. Well, I saw in between that last 2 points, she took a big, deep breath, really tried to get her composure back and really calm herself down. And she was able to get a nice touch.
Katie Horton getting the point there for Florida State. They're up 7-4 now. Remember, playing to 15. And she goes at Slater. Therese Cannon really had to lay out to get that ball back to her partner. Over on 2 goes Cannon. Horton. Perfect.
Horton and Luke right now for Florida State have Hallgren and Cannon on their heels, trying to react to whatever Florida State's doing, and that's a huge advantage for Florida State.
USC over on 2 once again. And USC gets stuck up in the net.
You see USC just reacting and Florida State in control. Sammy Slater struggling a little bit in her serve receive, and Therese Cannon really has her running shoes on, just trying to make something of it.
If Haley Luke and Katie Horton can pull out this win here in set 3, that would give the duel to Florida State. They're up 2-1. There's another point. You can tack it on for the Noles.
Katie Horton, Haley Luke, I believe they were the Volley Mob pair of the week last week, and you can see why. The hottest team in collegiate beach volleyball, pretty much. It's 16-0 with the 2 pairs.
Yeah, they're the CCSA tournament MVP. That one poked out. It's 11-4 now, Florida State.
And Florida State's everywhere. I mean, every ball that USC tries to put down, they're right there. Even though that ball was out, they were there if it was in.
4 points away now from this duel going to Florida State. They are up in the duel 2-1. Slater takes a little bit off of it and gets it to drop.
Nice clean side out by USC. If they can go on a string and score some real points, play some defense, which they're very capable of doing, they can get themselves right back in this third set.
Slater grazes the tape. And Haley Luke just unloads.
Haley Luke was a setter indoors. Both these players very successful players. She was a setter, but only played in the back row, but she can bring the heat, as you see from the left side, cross-court kill.
We mentioned the action was still going on court 4 as well. They did split, so they're going to a third set, but if Katie Horton and Haley Luke pull this out, that ends the duel and gives it to Florida State.
USC able to score a point. Finally, not easy to get Haley Luke and Katie Horton out of system, according to head coach Brooke Niles.
First whole season for Luke and Horton on the beach. Horton to down the line she goes.
Katie Horton used to putting the ball away against 6 players on the other side of the net. So with just 2, it's much easier. Nice kill down the line, Sammy Slater there.
That's an ace right there for Katie Horton, and that is gonna bring up dual point.
That ball catches the back line, but all Florida State needs to do is side out, and this is something they're very good at.
Still dual point. Florida State looking to take down USC. Remember, it is double elimination in this tournament, but you want to stay in the winner's bracket if you can. And Haley Luke is gonna help Florida State do it. Their first duel in Gulf Shores this season, and they take down the defending champs.
And this is a special group for Florida State. They are all in, all competitors. They've got some senior leadership. Impressive start in the tournament.
Florida State takes the duel 3-1 over USC.
Ladies and gentlemen, finals before 2, FSU to beat USC. 2 sets to 1.
And we really saw them come out so strong. I mean, they were battling right from the beginning. They wanted to make a statement in this tournament. They're the CCSA champs. They came in ready to make sure everybody knew their name, and we'll give you a look at the winner's bracket here. So Florida State moves on. They will take on the 1 seed UCLA. That duel coming up at 4 Eastern on ESPNU. And a look at the elimination bracket. We will still get to see USC and Florida International in this tournament. They drop down to the elimination bracket, and they have to win this game at 2 p.m. Eastern today, or they're going home. Let's send it down to Holly Rowe.
Well, this was an outstanding match on this court. It went right down to a 3rd set, and you didn't even know that was for the duel. When did you find out you guys just sealed it for Florida State?
When everyone ran onto the court, that's when I knew.
You guys had to really come back, backs against the wall, but what helped you take control in set number 3?
I think that we figured out a game plan for ourselves that was working really well against them, and we just stayed steady and confident. Like, we had the confidence that we could pull that out.
I know you're a setter indoor, but you were putting down some monster swings there. What were you doing efficiently?
I was just trying to stay aggressive and make a move on defense.
All right, so now you stay in the winner's bracket. You upset USC, the 2-time defending champs. Kind of what mojo did that give your team moving forward to this afternoon?
It just gives us confidence. We know we can play anyone on the other side of the court, and we can keep winning.
All right, we'll see you later this afternoon, ladies. Thank you.
Thank you.
Florida State staying in the winner's bracket. More action from Gulf Shores.